Welcome to PIB News Podcast for Civil Services. Wetlands in India. According to the definition of wetland under Wetlands Conservation and Management Rules 2017, an area of marsh, fen, peat land or water, whether natural or artificial, permanent or temporary, with water that is static or flowing, fresh, brackish or salt, including areas of marine water the depth of which at low tide does not exceed 6 meters, are considered as wetlands. As per the National Wetland Inventory and Assessment, 2011, Space Applications Center ISRO Ahmedabad identified approximately 2.0 lakhs water bodies or wetlands of size greater than 2.25 hectares across the country, covering an area of approximately 10 million hectares, which includes lakes, ponds, oxbow lakes, high altitude and riverine wetlands, waterlogged areas, tanks, reservoirs, lagoons, creeks, sand beaches, corals, mangroves, mud flats, salt pans, aquaculture ponds, salt marshes, etc. The Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has notified Wetlands Conservation and Management Rules 2017 under the provisions of the Environment Protection Act 1986 as regulatory framework for conservation and management of wetlands across country to conserve, manage and maintain the ecological character of the wetlands without restricting its wise use. Further, the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change is currently implementing a centrally sponsored scheme, namely National Plan for Conservation of Aquatic Ecosystems for conservation and management of identified wetlands, including lakes in the country, on cost-sharing basis between central government and respective state governments. The scheme covers various activities such as interception, diversion and treatment of wastewater, shoreline protection, lakefront development, in situ cleaning such as desilting and deweeding, storm water management, bioremediation, catchment area treatment, lake beautification, survey and demarcation, biofencing, fisheries development, weed control, biodiversity conservation, education and awareness creation, community participation, etc. Four-pronged approach of preparing brief documents, filling ecosystem health cards, instituting wetland mitras, and formulating integrated management plans based on the health and specific threats facing the wetlands is in place for conservation and management of wetlands. Under the National Plan for Conservation of Aquatic Ecosystems scheme, the central assistance is based on the proposals received from the state governments in the form of integrated management plans, including brief documents, in conformity with the guidelines and budget availability. So far, Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has sanctioned proposals for conservation of 164 wetlands across the country and released an amount of about 1,066.43 crores rupees as central share. As a result of above said measures, 64 wetlands or water bodies have been designated as wetlands of international importance, Ramsar sites, across the country under Ramsar Convention since 1981, covering total area of around 1.25 million hectares. Out of 64 Ramsar sites, 38 were designated in the last 7 years, i.e., from 2014 to till date. A dedicated web portal for wetlands has been developed, which is a publicly available information and knowledge platform in order to facilitate knowledge sharing, information dissemination, host capacity building material, and provide a single-point access data repository for processing information and making it available to the stakeholders in an efficient and accessible manner. A Center for Wetlands Conservation and Management under the Ministry's National Center for Sustainable Coastal Management has been established to serve as a knowledge hub and to enable exchange of knowledge between wetland users, managers, researchers, policymakers, and practitioners, and to assist the national and state and union territory governments in the design and implementation of policy and regulatory frameworks, management planning, monitoring, and targeted research specifically related to wetlands. Thanks for listening. Kindly like, subscribe, and share.